People get ready, for the train is coming. Don't need no baggage, you just get on board. All you need is faith to hear the diesel humming. Don't need no ticket, just thank the Lord. Hello, viewing audience and listening audience to the People Get Ready podcast with the legendary political guru, Mr. Charles E. Bibb Sr. from Bibb's Record Shop. Welcome to the star of the show, Mr. Charles E. Bibb Sr. Take it away, Mr. Bibbs.
Thank you, Reverend Ben Fair. Awesome introduction. Here we are again this week, and we keep bringing you more and more information. We're going to enroll you with more power each week. And today we have some stars lined up for you that you won't believe, because in this last week, so many things have happened that we don't even know who coming on first round here, do we?
Right.
Mr. James Jerome Bell.
Yes, Mr. Bibb.
All right, so we're going to get that straight. My usual question is Miss Vivian L. Sharp in the house?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, Miss Vivian L. Sharp. Vivian Louise Sharp, Minister Vivian Louise Sharp, has a brand new business. And would you tell our audience about it, Minister Vivian Louise Sharp?
Yes, I will. And thank you very much. Come be with us on my exclusive Discover Yourself. It's a streaming radio app. We operate 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and 365 days a year. You can enjoy music, interviews, and various potpourri people on your Apple or Google Play app. sharpparagon@gmail.com. 216-307-5100. Discover yourself. Over and out, Mr. Bibb.
Thank you, Minister. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Next on our awesome agenda is we were out on the road this past week. We had one of the statewide candidates in the city of Cleveland. Chelsea Clark came to Cleveland for a meet and greet. Miss Candace Jones shared the flyer with us, and most of our staff went down to meet and greet her. Would you tell us a little bit about it, Miss Candace Jones?
So we went down to Midtown Tech facility. It was a very nice facility, and Chelsea Clark, who is currently a councilwoman in Forest Park, which is just north of Cincinnati, but she was very welcoming. She was very dynamic in her speaking. So I look forward to, hearing more about her. She is a candidate for the Ohio Secretary of State in the November election. So we look forward to hearing more about Chelsea Clark. And this is a statewide position. So hear more about Stacey Clark coming out, because she is a dynamic candidate to fill this position, got more than qualified recommendations for that position.
Mm-hmm. All right. Joining us last week, Mr. James Jerome Bell. He had an awesome time with the candidate for Secretary of State of Ohio, Ms. Chelsea Clark. Would you share a few minutes with us, Mr. James Jerome Bell?
Yes, I found Miss Clark to be a phenomenal person, and having reviewed and verified her credentials, I found her to be a very qualified candidate for the position of Secretary of State. And I believe that she will represent the people of Ohio when elected in that capacity to the best of her ability. I found her to be a single mother with two teenage children. And so she has the capabilities and the wherewithal to understand the position of Secretary of State and really, really make us proud as Ohioans.
All right, thank you very kindly. Them being fair, you were not
sir.
there, but I'm on top of my game. But Miss Candace Jones have her coming to Euclid, Ohio, but she didn't tell us about it. Would you tell us all about that, Miss Candace Jones?
So on August 28th, the Euclid Democratic Club will be hosting a brunch, an annual brunch at Tizano's Party Center, 1361 East 260th. The brunch will have a list of guest speakers. Chelsea Clark will be one of those guest speakers at that brunch, along with Tim Ryan and a host of other Democratic candidates that will be speaking at the brunch. Anyone is welcome to come. The tickets are $45 per person, or you can get a table of 8 for $320. It's a fantastic event, and it's a fundraiser for the Euclid Democratic PAC, and what these funds go towards is that the Euclid Democratic Club gets a campaign office on the even years so that we can host Democratic candidates' issues coming out of the Euclid campaign office, not just for Euclid, but for surrounding Northeast Ohio candidates or issues as well. So we look forward to having that a place where the statewide candidates can do their phone banking, literature drops, or whatever they need. We will also be having the Ohio Democratic Party representing and helping us staff that office as well. Again, the brunch is August 28th. It starts at 10:30. For registration, the brunch will start promptly at 11, and you don't want to miss out on the host guests. If you have any questions or you want to purchase tickets, you can go to www.eucliddems.org, UCLIDDEMS.org, and you can purchase your tickets online or give me a call, 216-570-4738. You don't want to miss this event.
Thank you.
Miss Candace Jones, Reverend Fair know who Tim Ryan is, but Natalie don't know who Tim Ryan is. So let Natalie know who Tim Ryan is.
Tim Ryan is a candidate for the U.S. Senate for Ohio. He's running for the U.S. Senate, Democratic U.S. Senate position for the state of Ohio.
Thank you very kindly. Good job, Miss Candace Jones. It's going to be, give me that date one more time.
The date is August 28th, which is a Sunday. You want to get there at least by 10:30 for registration. The brunch will start promptly at 11.
Thank you very kindly. Next we'll hear from Reverend Ben Fair. He's
Yes,
going to
sir.
share with us what's been going on in Summit County in the city of Akron with the J-Man case.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Bibb. We do have a little update with the Jalen Walker shooting, the police shooting of Jalen Walker. The CNN report says the family of Jalen Walker, who was shot and killed by police in Akron, Ohio, last month, is calling for a federal investigation into Mr. Walker's death and questioning the integrity of ongoing state investigation. They held a news conference Wednesday on what have been Walker's 26th birthday, addressing the Akron Police Union president interviewed with a local station in which the president said he provided the police chief with a new information about why Walker was pursued by officers in what he called an effort to correct any false narrative. Union President Clay Cozart told the CNN affiliate news WEWS that officers told him they saw Walker's car in a high criminal area before the chase, and after running the plates, discovered that the car was being pursued by a different police department a day earlier. Nobody at the Bureau of Criminal Investigation, nobody in the department, nobody in this family, nobody involved in and this loss needs a union chief to clear anything, the family attorney Bobby DeCello said Wednesday. What does it now create the question as to the integrity of the investigation? And now we've got to stand and ask for an outside investigation, and we have to challenge the process that was given to us that we're asked to trust. Walker, who was unarmed at the time of his death, was shot and killed as he fled from a traffic stop on June the 27th. The autopsy revealed he suffered 46 gunshot wounds or grazes injury, according to the county medical examiner. The attorney DeCello reiterated his concern about the investigation in a statement to CNN, saying the police union's knowledge of investigation findings that have not been shared with Walker's legal team have erroneously compromised the investigation.
Reverend Ben Fair, do they have anything coming up in court anytime soon?
They don't have anything coming up in court. What the problem is, Mr. Bibbs, is they're just going back and forth with the investigation. They just saying that the Akron police and those who are in charge in Akron are compromising the investigation. So they want
nothing in court yet.
Nothing in court yet.
Try to find out as much as you can for next week.
Okay.
We'll update this report.
All right.
Because we have to keep moving.
All right.
Thank you for that information. Ms. Candace Jones,
Yes.
did you talk with Ms. Joanne Harley today?
Yes, Joanne and Tammy are on the line.
All right. Oh, man, Miss Tammy? Miss Tammy Kennedy? Miss Tammy Kennedy?
Maybe she's not on.
Hello?
Okay, there she
Hello?
is.
Mr. Bibb.
Okay. The floor is all yours.
Yes. Hi, People Get Ready podcast, one of my favorite podcasts in Northeast Ohio. Mr. Bibb, you're
Thank
doing a
you.
wonderful job, Reverend Fair and Candace.
Thank you.
Yeah, I have an update. I want people to know that the city of East Cleveland will
Oh,
be...
no. Miss Tammy, wrong
Yes, sir.
information at the wrong time.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Miss Candace will bring you up to date. Tell them what's happening today.
So Tammy, if you could introduce one of our guest speakers, Ms. Joanne Holly, and she's going to introduce our other speaker.
Okay. Well, people get ready for the fabulous Joanne Holly. Joanne Holly is, oh my God, I've been knowing her for decades. You may know of her as an entrepreneur, but she's also a singer, an entertainer. And Miss Joanne Holly, are you in the house?
I am in the house, Tammy.
Welcome, Joanne Holly. She got some R&B and some other kinds of music she want to tell us about. I heard about the new music too, Joanne. Go ahead.
Thank you, Tammy. You are a gem. Well, great evening, ladies and gentlemen, to the kings and queens joining us tonight. We're beginning our first week of a 4-part series featuring an award that will be presented to Michael J. Calhoun on August the 11th, 2022 at the LaSalle Theater, 823 East 185th Street, Cleveland, Ohio, 44119. That's 823 East 185th Street, Cleveland, Ohio, 44119. For tickets and further information, contact Robert Johnson, the Line Dance King, at 216-778-0401. But we have a special treat for you today. We're going to start this series off with a new video from Michael J. Calhoun. Turn it up. It is hotter than hot. You got to hear this.
Yes, it is. I heard it the other day. It's
All
beautiful.
right, take it away. All right.
Come on.
I want you to turn up, lady. Turn up. Go out the way, turn up, get crazy. The temperature is rising, and your body's so enticing. I never knew someone could make me feel this good and so damn frightening. You excite the urge inside me, sparks of love start to ignite me. I'm feeling you, you're feeling me. You make me hot, turn up the heat. Turn up. I want you to turn up, lady. Turn up. Go out the way, turn up, get crazy.
Feeling this, oh, so exciting. Girl, look at you. Whoa, whoa. You look so appetizing, but I feel you holding back. Well, allow me to show you where it's at. Just let it go, relax and flow. Don't be shy, I'll tell you why.
Turn up. I want you to turn up, lady. I want you to turn up. Go out the way, turn up, get crazy. Turn it up and light my fire. I want you to take me higher. You're the one who's got me yearning. Lit the flames, so keep it burning. Recite the urge inside me. Sparks of love start to ignite me. I'm feeling you, you're feeling me. You make me hot, turn up the heat. Turn up. I want you to turn up, lady. Turn up, turn up. Go out the way, turn up, get crazy.
Now that you got it, come on, girl, give me some more. You're all I need to handle. This is your have inside for sure. Don't be shy, it's just you and me. Come on, let's fan the flame and put it where it needs to be. Don't turn it up.
Turn up. I want you to turn up, lady. Turn up.
Turn it
Go out the way,
up.
turn up, get crazy. Turn up.
J. Calhoun says, thank you, Mr. Charles B. Bibb Sr. We are hotter than hot. Take it back to you.
Your number.
Thank you so much, Joanne. That's
Thank
beautiful.
you, Tammy.
Michael Calhoun, you know what? I got it was on Soul Tracks last week. I hope you know that it was on Soul Tracks last week. So I saw the video. I like it, man. That song is hot.
Yes, it is. It truly is. Thank you, Mr. Bibb. Thank you, Tammy. And don't forget the show. Don't forget the show at the LaSalle to get your tickets to.
And you're coming on a little later to tell us about that again, Miss Joanne. You back on later?
I
am. And I
am.
want to thank you and thank Mike Calhoun, formerly of the Dance Band. That was just awesome. This looked like Ben Fair, one of the award-winning shows across the country.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, we bringing you on the national map. Thank you. And tell Mike I said thank you, will you, Miss Joanne?
Yes, sir, I will.
And I look forward to having lunch with him next week at the LaSalle Theater.
Yes, sir.
All right. Moving right along. Miss Candace Jones. She has something for us that we definitely need. Because, Reverend, inflation is going through the roof.
Yes, it is.
When you go to the shop, go shopping now, you hate to go in because you know everything going up.
Okay.
But there's some relief on the way.
All right. Tell us about it.
Candace Jones tell me that somebody's going to bring something forward to tell us about it.
Okay, we have something for you that will help you out with your financial stress. So we've talked several weeks already about Snap Delivered, but Snap Delivered is expanding its platform. Not only is it for food delivery, which Snap Delivered helps restaurants out because they only charge $2 per delivery. Snap Delivered has broadened its spectrum to financial help as well. And I'm going to bring one of my business partners on to share more about that, about the Employee Retention Tax Credit, which will also help businesses out also. And this is a program that is not going to be around for too much longer, for maybe a couple more years, but I'll let him explain a little more about it. This was a program that was just launched within the SNAP platform this year by partnering with an accounting firm called Jorns and Associates, which handles the employee tax credit program for a lot of businesses. So I want to turn it over to Garfield Dawes, who is a executive director with Snap Delivered, and he can share some more information about the employee tax credit program and about some other information that was launched from the Dallas event that took place in the end of July, 22nd, 23rd, and 24th of July. So Garfield, will you share some information with us?
Absolutely, and thanks again, Miss Candace, for having me putting on. If you're a business owner, you definitely want to pay attention. The ERC program is basically for businesses back in 2019, 2020 that has anywhere from 5 to 500 employees. So what happened is the government released both this program along with the PPP program, but President Donald Trump decided that if you have one or the other, then you wouldn't qualify for the next. And because of the complications of the ERC program, a lot of the company did not do that. So 80% of companies did not do the ERC program. So we have over 200 specialists that this is all they do. And for the past 11 months, they already got back over $2.5 billion to companies. So money is going out. So you definitely want to get on board and try to get as much as you can, as fast as you can before the money is gone. Majority of business do qualify. Some business easier than some, like when the nursing, daycare, anything that's being affected. And it's more than one aspect that is affected. That some people believe that they are not qualified. But our specialists will determine that. And then you'll feel more comfortable. You're not losing anything. So it's definitely something that you want to get into as soon as possible. So $26,000 per employee. So as much as a little bit as $130,000 up to as much as $13 million that the company will be able to get back. And no, they do not have to pay back at all. So it's just a relief. That's what it is. Just a straight relief. No payback. So no worry about paying this stuff back at all. Okay, so Snap Delivered, we do the delivery service. Your restaurants, we help restaurants in business. The only thing they have to pay is a $2 flat fee for delivery. And your customers, we refer customers. The customers, you would refer another customer. Every single order that's placed by that customer, you would get paid. If you refer a driver, every order that driver delivers, you also get paid. And you could also refer a restaurant. That means every single order come out that restaurant, you also get paid on that as well. So it's a financial where everybody wins. So we want to do that. We also are introducing what's called Snap Kitchen. I know many people are familiar with what's called ghost kitchens. So the ghost kitchens is you could have a restaurants within your restaurants. So let's say you have one restaurant, you could adopt the Snap Kitchen technology, and now you could introduce another franchise. You could have up to 5 or 6 different franchises within your own restaurants. So now you may have like 7 restaurants in just your restaurants, but you only use your main restaurants as the setting table. So orders will come. They'll come in, say, our kicking chicken restaurants out of your particular restaurants. Same kitchen. You don't have to change anything. The Snap Kitchen will make up the menus for you, part of your Snap Kitchen as well. So some very big opportunity that's coming out of that. If you have like discounts on pharmaceuticals, so somebody could get up to 80% off their medicine. And his card is totally free. So you have a pharmacy card that you will take to the pharmacy. They will accept that. I'm saying over 300 pharmacies already on board. And you just take it in there. Even though you're already getting discounts to RX or so on, you will still get a percentage off your pharmaceuticals just by using that card. So there's plenty of more, and we got plenty more that's coming. So we are in the delivery space, not just the delivery service. So we are able to do some other things. We got the Vidco service where we also got streaming, where you could apply for the streaming service. It's called Vidco. So you get entertainment because everybody right now is cutting the cord. There's no more cable. Cable is going away. So it's going to be streaming. So we also had Vidco for the streaming service as well. So some very different things that's coming out, not just for the delivery service. So we are telling people that we could help all the business in the community in every single state. And all you got to do is be here in Cleveland. We could get in touch. Ms. Candace is going to give you the information where we could meet on Saturdays for our local training, where we'll be able to train people and how to go out and make money. Simple. So there is no more crying, no more inflation if you don't want it. Want to make money, come see us and we'll show you how to know to do that. So Ms. Candace, take it back.
Thank you, Mr. Garfield, for all that great information. And I just want to emphasize one thing. In all of these programs that Garfield spoke about, you can join and be affiliated with SNAP for free. It doesn't cost anything to be a customer. It doesn't cost anything to sign up and be a driver. It doesn't cost anything for a restaurant to sign up to be affiliated with SNAP. And the process, the ERC process, is a way to help businesses out. So this is just another level of SNAP helping out. And as Garfield mentioned, the training, there will be a training event this Saturday at 5 p.m. The address is 17325 Euclid Avenue. That's at the corner of Euclid Avenue and London Road. For those of you that are familiar, that's the Chandler Park building on the second floor, conference room number 2011. So hopefully you can make it. If you have any questions about the training, you can give me a call, 216-570-4738. Look forward to seeing you all here. This is a tremendous opportunity to be able to help those out that need extra income. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Mr. Garfield, Mr. Bibb.
No, we don't understand. Mr. Timmy Kennedy, are you in the house? Miss Tammy Kennedy. All right. Miss Vivian L. Sharp, are you in the house?
Yes, I am, Mr. Bibb. Yes, I am.
All
I'm
right.
here.
Will you tell us about bringing jazz back?
Yes, I will. I have some music for you. Here, stand by. Attention, real jazz lovers. Jesse Dandy Jr. and Minister Vivian Louise Sharp are bringing real jazz back. Jesse Dandy Jr.'s jazz that is real. A Dandy real jazz recording, bass, drums, piano, and vocals. Contact Mr. Jesse Dandy Jr. at 440-343-2871. Contact Minister Vivian Louise Sharp, 216-307-5100. For 15 years, 1985 to 1999, Jesse Dandy performed at Cleveland Clinic Omni International Hotel 6 days a week to help ease the pressure on the loved ones and families at the Omni Hotel, which is located at East 96th Street and Carnegie Avenue. Attention, real jazz lovers. Mr. Jesse Dandy Jr. wants you to know that real jazz is still alive and waiting for you to discover it again. Music is therapeutic, says Jesse Dandy Jr. Purchase and experience again. Music ensemble like Have You Met Miss Jones? I'll Be Around. I Should Care. Jesse Dandy Jr.'s Jazz Ensemble. Jazz that is real. 440-343-2871. Minister Vivian Louise Sharp. 216-307-5100. Thank you very much, Mr. Bibb. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a good day.
All right. Keep on bringing that jazz back, Miss Minister Vivian Louise Sharp. You're doing a good job. You and the young man. Keep the work up. All right, Miss Candace. Have we heard from Al Porter? Black on Black crime. The group went to Buffalo last week. And we'll see what happened with them.
I don't see Mr. Porter on the line yet.
All right. Well, if Mr. Porter's not on the line yet, we will get right into Tuesday, August 2nd. And we will talk about what happened on election day. A lot of things went on yesterday. The biggest thing went on, 92% of the people didn't come out to vote. Them fair?
Yes.
Right.
92% of the people did not come out to vote.
Wow.
Probably closer to 94%.
They couldn't blame the weather.
No, couldn't blame the weather.
Right.
The county of Cuyahoga, the Cleveland.com gave us a 6-point-something turnout. And that was not good. Especially going into the November election. This was just the primary, which we're all aware. In November, the two parties will take on each other and see who's going to run the country for the next 2 years. And look like 5 to 6% of the people are going to run the country. Unless something is, when people come to do something about it. Mr. Jerome Bell, would you share with us some thoughts you have about yesterday's election?
Well, I think that it speaks to the disengagement of the community with the low turnout, as you said, 6% or so. But for those who have taken the initiative to vote and get involved in their civic duty, it really speaks to the fortitude of the few. It is my hope going into November that we can galvanize voters to not only get involved in politics, but to let their voice be heard by voting. So that is what we really need to do, is to engage the voters, to engage younger people, and also engage minorities.
Who is minorities? Who is that?
Well, that would be Black and Latinos, and those of other persuasions, I would say.
Where do African Americans fit in?
Well, African Americans are really the backbone of the Democratic Party, being a very, very loyal voting bloc for the past 50 years.
Thank you. Reverend Bill Fair, would you share some of your concerns about 90% plus staying at home yesterday in Cowley County?
Yeah, I just want to reiterate, Mr. Bibbs, that what Mr. James Jerome Bell stated, that we need to get involved in the political process because it affects our everyday life. You know, all the decision makers, the politicians who get in office and they make decisions by passing the laws and passing these bills that affect our economy, it affects our schools, it affects our jobs, it affects our wages, you know, and affect our benefits, and it affect our lives in the future, not only our lives presently, but it affect the lives of our children and our grandchildren. So for us not to be involved, what we're doing is actually, just use the term that it's almost like we shooting ourselves in the foot about not getting involved, Mr. Bibbs. So that 95% of people who are staying home are actually hurting the community. So we need to get involved, you know, and stay involved so that we can make have a voice in the political process. Not complain, because a lot of people, what they do is they stay home and they complain instead of getting out and making a difference. So we need to get out and make a difference, make our voices be heard. You know, that Dr. King said, those who don't have a voice cannot be heard. And you can, everybody may not be able to run for a political office, but everybody can go to the polls and vote.
Right. Ms. Candace Jones, would you share your concerns about?
Yes. So in Cuyahoga County, out of the 873,795 registered voters, there were only 90,641 ballots that were cast. The turnout for voters in the election yesterday was 10.4%, which is extremely, extremely, extremely low, and considering that the elections yesterday are our legislators who a lot of the policies are voted on and put in place by the Senate and Ohio and the House of Representatives. It was a very low turnout for that election. So I am looking forward to everyone taking a challenge going into the November election to try to increase not only the voter turnout, but the knowledge of the candidates that are on the ballot and how important the issues are that are concerning not just Cuyahoga County, but statewide as well, because we have statewide candidates that are on the ballot in November, and we need to be aware and conscious of who we're putting in position to fill those seats. So my concern is that, what can we do as concerned voters going forward to get those registered voters out to vote?
Yes.
That's a good point. Getting the registered voters out to vote, Mr. Bell, is an awesome job.
Well, it's my belief that there's a lot of people who are not, number one, really enthused about the democratic process, or have people that they feel that they can vote for, people that they feel that sympathize with their concerns, the kitchen table issues, so to speak. But we have some very good candidates on the Democratic side, and I hope that people do their due diligence and learn about the candidates and learn about their platforms, where they stand on the issues, and give it thoughtful consideration as far as where we're going in the next 2 years.
Watch what you just said real close. You were saying what the people staying at home should do.
Yes.
How you gonna get that word to them?
Well, I think that we have to, as those in the Democratic Party, have a grassroots initiative to meet the people where they are, to meet the people where they work, live, and play. We need to voice our hope for the democratic process and democratic candidates that we put forth in such a way that it enthuses people to not only look at the candidates, but to be enthused to vote for them.
Now, who did you say would do that?
We, as the Democratic Party, not only locally, statewide, and nationally, we need to have a grassroots effort to really, number one, we have to educate the voters to where we stand on the issues, where we're moving forward in not only Cuyahoga County, Ohio, and America, but we need to move this country forward in such a way.
I know you're ambitious and excited, but we're only dealing with Cuyahoga County.
Okay.
And you keep using the pronoun we. Would you be more specific? Who are you talking about?
Well,
Do this work.
I'm talking about myself.
But I heard you say the Democratic Party.
I'm talking
Have
about.
you met the new Democratic chairman?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Dave Beck.
Maybe we need to start with him.
Yeah.
And share the numbers with him. Since he's the leader of the Democratic Party, he might have something in mind he want to do. And you might want to ask him, do you need some help?
Yes, sir.
So if he hadn't gotten in contact with you, so you might have to get in contact with him.
I'll do that tomorrow.
Don't do it until you get the final turnout
Okay.
for each city. They should have that for you tomorrow at the board of election. Let me know how you're doing it. Then we'll schedule it for next week. What happened?
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? I'm being fair?
Yes, sir.
See, we have not communicated with the chairman of the party. He's only been the chairman a month.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to know what is his intentions.
Okay.
Because the big one of elections coming up in 90 plus days.
Mm-hmm.
And 90-some% staying home, not going to get you nothing elected.
So, Mr. Bibb, we have someone that just joined us, and congratulations to State Rep Juanita Brent on your victory yesterday for your position. Juanita Brent, are you in the house?
Thank you so much again, Mr. Bibb and Candace, for allowing me on the show. And, you know, this is the first day after the primary election of our party's nominations of who they feel as though can represent the area. So I'm just glad to be able to receive that vote of confidence.
Right. I want to thank you and add to the congratulations, State Rep Juanita Brent, and look forward to working with you in all three of your positions. Reverend Fair didn't know she's the state rep, chairman of the Ohio Legislative Black Caucus, and executive vice chairman of the most democratic county in the state of Ohio,
Cuyahoga
Cuyahoga County.
Democratic
Right.
Party, yes. Congratulations,
Congratulations.
Ms.
Spell
Brent.
your
So
name.
much. You just
It's
make me sound
Reverend
like
Fair.
I really don't have any life.
These are, it's a very important job you have. I'm one of the few people can talk about how important that job is because James Jerome Bell, Ben Fair, and Ms. Candace Jones, Congressman Stokes, Carl Stokes, and Arnold Pinckney and I left the party because they were not doing African Americans fair. Did you hear me?
Yes.
We left the party.
Right.
And state rep, that's when we got our first co-chair of the Democratic Party in them days, Congressman Lou Stokes. But we weren't coming back till we could be in a decision-making position. And that's where you are today. You are an elected executive vice president, not one of the vice presidents that the chairman appoints. You understand the difference?
Yes.
Reverend Ben Fair?
Yes, sir.
And we were just talking about before you came on the line, what can we do? You know by now, 90-some% of the people stayed home yesterday. They ain't coming out doing what we've been doing. We had a major crisis in the African American community yesterday. The Ohio Legislative Black Caucus endorsed an African American, and the Congresswoman endorsed a European American. And the European American won. So the first time, state rep, since I worked in Carl Stokes' campaign in 1967 and 65, I also worked in M. Morris Jackson. I want all you high techs to look that name up. M. Morris Jackson, state senator. Up until that time, we didn't have a state senator in modern days. Now we're all the way back to state 1967 state rep. We don't have anybody, we don't have an African American meeting when the state senate meets in Columbus, Reverend Fair. We have to send our representative to meet for us, so get the word to the representative, because we won't be in that room. That was bad enough. We also won't have anybody in the room when the Democratic Party meets, Jerome Bell, in Columbus, because both seats were taken by European Americans. Are you still with me, State Rep?
I'm still with you.
State Rep still with me?
Yes,
I'm
she
still
is.
with you, Mr. Bibb.
So when the state Democratic Party meet and make major decisions for Ohio, Cuyahoga County won't have a representative from the African American community. We'll have to get the word later on. And you know what later on will get you. So we got a lot of work to do. The floor is all yours, State Rep. Go right ahead.
Well, thank you again for always allowing me to be, a voice here on this show. And just one thing I always like to start off with is that Black people have to have their own agenda. We have to be in a place as Black people, descendants of slaves, descendants of immigrants to this country, immigrants ourselves, however you like to define yourself. You have to have an issue of how we're going to get things done. We cannot wait for people to do things a certain way. And what we're seeing across the state and also across this country is that areas that were traditionally where Black people would normally run and win, that's not happening anymore because we have not developed a plan. So when you don't develop a plan, people, and I'll just say people in general, not particularly just white people, but just people will make an agenda and tell you what you deserve to have and what that looks like. There has not been an agenda to have this done. There's always been an assumption that it was going to occur. These maps have been very problematic when it comes down to cracking the Black communities. But then we can also just say the conversations amongst Black leaders has not occurred like it should have had. And I blame all of us, including myself, for the lack of those conversations. Now that we've seen this, instead of just sitting by, we have to make a plan going forward, or this is going to continue to be worse. One light at the end of this tunnel, I will say, is that there is State Representative Phil Robinson, who is running for State Central Committee person, who won. He's on the southeast side of Cuyahoga County, so he's not particularly in the Cleveland area, but he is a Black man who just won State Central Committee.
Would you repeat that again, please, State Rep?
About Bill Robinson?
Yes.
Yeah, he represents he out in the Solon area.
Yes, so he just won State Central Committee person. So he will be the only Black person representing any part of Cuyahoga County at the Ohio Democratic Party.
What position will he be holding at the Democratic Party?
The Ohio, the State Central Committee person.
State Central Committee person.
Very good, very good. All right. Mr. James Bell,
Yes.
I think you met him before when I had him at the East Cleveland Public Library.
Yes.
Get in touch with him. Tell him we need him in the hood.
Okay.
All right? I know about Deep Solon, but we need him now.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard what the state rep said. We got to all come together. We got to come together. And I know him well, and we want to get him on the podcast.
Okay.
All right? Very good. Go right ahead, State Rep. I'm with you.
So one of the things I mentioned before, and I've told a lot of people because I want to be very transparent about the efforts that the Cuyahoga County Democratic Party is doing, about being intentional about recruiting Black judicial candidates. 70% of all the people that come before the courtroom are African American, but when it comes to those who sit on the bench, that is not representative of the people. So we have to be intentional even with our conversations and say, getting people in a position to be able to run and have a healthy campaign. Because we do see African American judicial candidates running, but people are not always in a position to have a healthy campaign, like be able to raise the money, be able to develop the contact, even be able to do basic stuff of sending out a mailer. So we have to be very intentional, and that is something that the chairman and I, are working on many different ways of trying to make sure that gets done here within our county. And hopefully that can expand to other places outside of Cuyahoga County.
Okay, I'm glad you would mention that. I don't know if this has come across your desk or not. South Euclid judge is going to resign if she hadn't already resigned. So
Yes,
we have to get us a candidate.
And so it's a very interesting situation in South Euclid. I know they're trying to get rid of that court. And so it'll be very interesting to see who the governor appoints, because it probably will be a Republican. But then also two, who will be running for that down the road for that seat.
Yeah, that's exactly what you just spoke about. We don't need to see who's running. We need to run somebody. And we need to start looking now. I'm with you. Because if we wait for people to step up, they wait too late, and then we're in trouble. When I see people losing like Brian Griffin and Jeff Johnson, all them going down, and John Barnes, all that skill and knowledge and stuff in government going down the drain, we got to step up to the plate.
Well, we have to keep reminding ourselves, nobody's going to give, particularly when you talk about the African American community, nobody's going to give us anything. Power is seized, not given.
That's why.
So
before you came on, I hate to interrupt you. Before you came on, I told them how we got to get a co-chairman of the Democratic Party. They didn't give it to us. We had to take it. You're absolutely right. Nobody will give you nothing. They've been taken from us so long, so we got to take it back for ourselves.
But
the first thing we got to do is unite.
It doesn't make it hard for anybody to take something from somebody who doesn't have a plan to keep it. Like, there's been no plan. No different than the state Senate seat. The state Senate seat that I believe is the 21st state Senate seat is the most African American state Senate seat in the state. But there was no plan to make sure that there was a viable African American candidate in that race. There was not a conversation.
Oh, no, I'm with you. I'm with you. You're absolutely right. I'm with you 100% on that. That's why I asked you, would you come today so we can move toward November and beyond. We have to work right now. And
so as we move towards November, people also have to think about voter turnout. And, Cleveland is slowly getting written off as a place that you pass through, but you don't stop. And so if we want candidates or whomever to intentionally take notice to communities, particularly communities of color, people have to start coming out and voting in large numbers. That's what's going to keep people's attention.
Okay. State rep, they're not coming out. We got to go in and get them now, so we got to come up with a plan to go in and get them. But we're going to recess this to next week because this is hot. And I just got the word, we only got 2 minutes. I want to thank you for coming today on your busy calendar after that long, long day that you had yesterday. I know how it is on election day, how many hours you work, you can't even count them.
Thank you, Representative so Brett.
But if you can, try to save some time for us next week so we can continue this, please. And we'll do all we can, our co-hosts and myself, to help you out in a way that we can. Feel free to let us know. All right, thank you so much. See you next week.
See you next week.
Candace Jones has an announcement to make about Robert Dean coming to bring the Top Gun to town next week.
Real quick announcement, Top Gun in Cleveland, the gut microbiome movement, guest speaker Anderson Cutting This event will take place Sunday, August the 7th, 2022 at 5 p.m. The location will be 6200 Rockside Woods Boulevard, Independence, suite number 320. You want to get to this event so you can learn about the gut microbiome movement and how to keep your gut healthy.